All Renegades of Puck to the trenches. It's time for Renegades of Puck TV. Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the essence of no half-stepping. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get started on the no half-stepping hockey coverage, let me tell you about RenegadesOfPuck.com. Once you go to RenegadesOfPuck.com, you can learn everything you need to know about the Renegades of Puck, and once you click on that merchandise link, you'll learn all about the gimmicks that we have. That's right, the Renegades of Puck have sold out so that you can buy in. The classic logo tee right there, the Pride logo tees, so many other versions of the t-shirt already in our store. We also have socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, and so many other gimmicks. Again, I love to say it. We've sold out so that you can buy in. So please support the Renegades of Puck by picking up some of our great merchandise today. Social media is critically important to this venture here in the Renegades of Puck. So please give us a subscription on YouTube. That's where you can find the newest and the latest episodes of Renegades of Puck TV. Once those are posted, we like to share those, and we do that via Facebook. So please give us a follow, give us a like on Facebook, and then share those links to your Facebook feed. If that's not your preferred social media platform, then please use Twitter. You can always find the Renegades of Puck on Twitter. Give us a follow at Renegades of Puck or any of the individual Renegades of Puck. They are always up for the interaction. You can also help us by retweeting and liking the links and the posts when we put them up on our Twitter feed. You can find us on Instagram. Let the Renegades of Puck out there know our Instagram feed is relatively new, so we would appreciate if you would follow along right there. We try to produce different content for all of our social media platforms. So again, we appreciate any level of follow that you can give us. If you prefer the audio version of the show, you can find that on SoundCloud. It is the traditional radio format that we used for many years. You can find that again on SoundCloud, and we would appreciate if you would give us a follow over there. You can easily find that account behind the scenes. We do have a live stream, and that's where you'll get the information first. You'll also hear any of the F-bombs, the second takes, and all of the mistakes, if there are any. You can find that over there on Twitch. We're building community right there. We've done some great live bonus features around this episode. As a matter of fact, Renegades of Puck that were following along on the Twitch stream were able to follow this entire episode from plugging in the lights to recording the episode to unplugging the lights and breaking down the studio. It's a different and unique look. No, it's not pretty. It's meant to give you a look at what broadcasting is really like. It's the behind-the-scenes stream with Renegades of Puck, and it's over there on Twitch. Please give that account a follow. You can become a partner of the Renegades of Puck by going to Venmo and searching Renegades of Puck, or just scan the QR code that's currently on your screen. Becoming a partner of the Renegades of Puck means anything that you donate to us goes directly to this operation right here. Thanks to your generosity over the last couple of months, we have been able to make significant upgrades, and we've also been able to plan some future operations. We have high ambitions, and we do need your help. Built by Renegades for Renegades means something to us here in the trenches. So anything you can do to help us out, please give a donation and become a partner on Venmo for the Renegades of Puck. Now, I know you're here for the no half-step in hockey coverage, and believe me, no one's going to deliver the goods as good as the Renegades of Puck. So let's get into it. Operation number 625. That is right. It is show number 625 for Predneck Nation and the Renegades of Puck. And on this date in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 64 games played. They have a record of 34, 23, and 4. 78 points has them tied with third place Minnesota. 1 point behind second place St. Louis. 17 points behind number one overall in the Central Division, the Colorado Avalanche. Now, the buffer between the Preds and the teams below them is starting to grow a little bit. The Dallas Stars are 5 points behind the Preds, while the Winnipeg Jets are 8, Chicago 25, and Arizona 34. I mention it just for the simple novelty of mentioning such extreme numbers. Now, the Preds have played 64 games, which is tied for the most in the Central Division, but importantly, they played more games than the teams above them. They have played 2 more games than the St. Louis Blues and 3 more games than the Minnesota Wild at this time, 2 more games than the Dallas Stars. So the Preds do have games in hand on all of the teams currently fighting out for team spots 2 through 5 in the Central Division. The Nashville Predators' next game will take place on the road, wrapping up a 3-game road trip. They currently have a road record of 18-12-4, a goal differential of plus 27. And the next game will take place, wrapping up the road trip in Las Vegas, the final regular season meeting between the Nashville Predators and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Once the Preds are wrapped up with this road trip Sunday, they will be back home in Philadelphia. Note the special start time earlier than normal, not an afternoon game, not a night game, somewhere in between. Tuesday, Ottawa Senators come to town, the first time the Nashville Predators have seen them all season long. And then April the 1st, the Nashville Predators will be in Buffalo. April the 5th, the Nashville Predators will face off at home against the Minnesota Wild. And then April the 7th, the Nashville Predators will welcome the Ottawa Senators back here to Nashville. Now, for the Las Vegas Golden Knights, a record of 34-28-4 is best for 4th in the Pacific Division. That is 72 points. Now, these two teams, the Nashville Predators and the Vegas Golden Knights, actually are competing in the standings. No, they are not in the same division, but thanks to the NHL wild card, now that it is becoming that time of year and we're into the final 20 games of the season, it's time to start talking about the wild card. The Predators currently hold the number 1 overall wild card spot at 78 points. Dallas, the number 2 wild card spot at 73 points. Of course, both of those teams would make the playoffs. Third place right now is Vegas, 72 points. So they are 1 point behind Dallas, and they are 6 points behind the Nashville Predators. And in the 4th spot is the Winnipeg Jets, who are 8 points behind Nashville, 3 points behind Dallas. I mention it specifically in this matchup because the Nashville Predators and the Vegas Golden Knights are directly competing for a wild card spot, though I still think that the Nashville Predators can find themselves in the 2-3 matchup for the Central Division. A record of 18-13-3 on home ice is very good overall. Now, the season series between these two teams goes all the way back to November the 24th when the Nashville Predators fell to the Las Vegas Golden Knights on home ice 5-2. Forsberg did score 2 goals in that game, but it was UC Saros taking the loss, 30 saves, 34 shots against. Lerner picked up the victory, 26 saves on only 28 shots against. It was Stone doing the damage as he typically does against the Nashville Predators, a goal and an assist. Stevenson also a goal and an assist. It was January the 4th when these two teams would meet in Vegas for the first time this season. The Preds would come away with a 3-2 victory, and catch this note, Philip Forsberg 2 goals in that game. So Philip Forsberg in 2 games against the Vegas Golden Knights this season has 4 goals. UC Saros stellar in this performance, 41 out of 43. Thompson got the start for Vegas, went 23 out of 26, and Carlson had a goal and an assist. Something that's definitely going to affect this game and has been affecting this road trip. The Nashville Predators defense corps is currently suffering quite a bit when it comes to the injury front. Matt Benning is on IR. Mark Borowiecki, we will cover this in a couple of moments, is listed as day-to-day. Dante Fabro also listed as day-to-day. So the Nashville Predators D-corps, without 3 of their current regulars, call-ups, trades, it is leading to a hodgepodge collection that Roman Josi is doing the best that he can to lead them, but it is definitely seeing some tough results out there, especially with the most recent game. Going inside the NHL rankings and the matchups between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Nashville Predators. The Nashville Predators are 9th overall in goals for 3.27, while the Vegas Golden Knights are 16th at 3.05. The Nashville Predators lead in the metric of goals against at 2.84. They are 13th overall in the NHL, 3.03 for Vegas is 16th. So 16th in goals for, 16th in goals against, and the Vegas statistical metrics get even stranger. In shots for and shots against, they are 8th in both of those categories. I actually did go back and double check because I thought that was quite strange to see. The shots for Vegas is 33.9. The Nashville Predators have suffered in this metric all season long at 29.3. That's 26th overall in the NHL. Shots against, the Preds are 17th at 31.7. The power play dramatically better for the Nashville Predators in this matchup. 6th best overall in the NHL. 49 conversions now on 200 power play opportunities, 24.5%. Now Vegas, 26th in the NHL on the power play. They've only converted 31 times this year on 171 opportunities, 26th down near the bottom of the league. The penalty kill, the Nashville Predators are the 12th best in the NHL, while Vegas is 17th best in the NHL. Nashville has given up 43 power play goals against, while Vegas has given up 38. You always expect to see some high-skilled individuals on every NHL roster, and these two clubs definitely have a bunch of them. Your captain, Roman Josi, on the Nashville Predators, now 18 goals and 60 assists for 78 points. The 78 points is 7th overall in the NHL, alone in that spot, and the 60 assists is 2nd in the NHL. You are starting to see Roman Josi mentioned with names like Bobby Orr, like Brian Leetch. It is incredible the offensive season season that he is putting up right in front of our very eyes, and I cannot wait to see where it ends up here in just a couple of weeks. Matt Duchene, second on the team in scoring, 34 goals overall, 32 assists, 66 points on the season. Philip Forsberg, 35 goals, 28 assists, 63 points. I chuckle because I've been covering this team a long time, and to say things like 34 goals, 35 goals, it is so incredibly rare. It's actually fun to be able to say numbers like that. Back to it. Johansson, 17 goals and 31 assists for 48 points. Granlund's at 9 and 39 assists for 48 points. Tanner Jeannot, 21 goals and 15 assists for 36 points. And just one more point before we flip over to the other side of the stats. The captain, Roman Josi, we have been beating on the desk about the Norris Trophy, but I am telling you right now, we need to start seriously considering that Roman Josi should be a finalist for the Hart Trophy this year. It is a conversation that we are absolutely going to have if he continues the point streak and he continues doing what he has been doing for the rest of the season over the next stretch of hockey. Now, let me give Vegas their due time on the stats. Marchessault usually has very good games against the Nashville Predators. He's got 25 goals in the season, 23 assists, 48 points, leads the Knights at this time. Stevenson had a couple good games against the Preds so far this season at 15 and 31 for 46. Smith at 16 and 22 for 38. Theodore at 8 and 29 for 37. And Peter Angelo, 10 goals and 25 assists for 35 points out there on the blue line. UC Saros, 31, 19 and 3, a 9.22 save percentage, and 2.48 goals against average. And Robin Lerner, 21, 15, and 1, a 909 save percentage, and a 2.77 goals against average. For the Nashville Predators, it's simple. You're 1-1 on the road trip. You dropped one to a good LA Kings team, and you beat a bad Anaheim Ducks team. Now you've got an opportunity for a big game. What is it? The next biggest game of the season. The Vegas Golden Knights are directly in competition with you for a wild card spot if you are not able to secure a spot in the 2-3 matchup of the Central Division. It would be good of the Nashville Predators to go ahead and win the second game of the season against the Vegas Golden Knights, therefore winning the season series and taking 4 out of 6 points. These points are critical. 2 points gained for Nashville is 2 points denied for the Vegas Golden Knights. For the Nashville Predators, you expect a rebound effort after what we saw in Los Angeles. Speaking of that, let's get to it. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Rebirth Sports. Check them out, rebirthsports.com, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And they tagged us in a post today, and thank you guys so much. Stick taps, love, and respect. You guys are absolutely the best. Renegade couriers have been dispatched across the landscape. Our biggest target to date. That's right. We have a jersey that is sitting right now on the desk of Mr. President. I cannot wait to see your reaction to that, sir. Rebirth Sports is what made that happen. Ann Kay also received her first Renegades of Puck jersey today. Welcome to the High Council of Renegades 16. Rebirth Sports is an incredible partner. You see the work right there on your screen. You've seen the jerseys that I've worn over the years. 6 or 7 different Mighty Drunks jerseys, every one of them a classic created by Rebirth Sports. Tournament jerseys, pond hockey jerseys, Renegades of Puck jerseys. Right now I'm wearing the Renegades of Puck road jersey. You've seen me wearing the third jersey a whole bunch lately. Rebirth Sports simply takes visions, makes them realities, and they are not just jersey makers, they're hockey tailors. They can outfit your entire hockey operation. I encourage you, please go to rebirthsports.com and check out the work and let them know we were talking about them right here in the trenches. Now, I was getting so excited about Rebirth Sports, I forgot about the disappointing game recap. I'm just, if you didn't stay up, stick with me. I normally say you give me 10 minutes, I'll give you the game. I'm not going to take that much of your time on this one. Let's go all the way back in time to 3/22 of the year 2022 when the Nashville Predators were in Los Angeles to take on the Kings, and John Hines deployed his line combinations as following. Forsberg, Johansson, and Duchene, Tolvanen, Granlund, and Cunnin, Trennan, Sissons, and Jeannot, Cousins, McCarron, and Tomasino make up your fourth line. And a hodgepodge on defense as Josi and Carrier are together, Ekholm and Luzon, and we see Borowiecki and Tennyson. David Rich gets the start in net. 2:03 into the first period. Trennan's got a shot stopped by Quick. It was the first shot on goal by the Nashville Predators, but unfortunately for the Preds, 3:36. Kempe's 27th goal of the season gives the LA Kings a 1-0 lead. Kopitar steals the puck from a sleeping Cousins over there on the half wall and then sets up the goal. I have watched this replay a number of times, and I cannot explain to you in any rational way how this turnover was so easily attained by Anze Kopitar. Kopitar always has good games against the Nashville Predators, and that continues. The Kings a 1-0 lead. We're 5:11 into the first period. Sissons is off to the box, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Kaliev's 12th of the season gives the Kings a 2-0 lead. It was a wrist shot from the high slot. 6:36 of the first period, Mikhail Granlund's off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Overall, it was a decent penalty kill, but the LA Kings just continue pouring on the pressure. At 8:48, the LA Kings disrupt their own momentum momentarily by picking up a bench minor for too many men on the ice, and then they regain that momentum almost immediately as Moore is off to the races, and it picks up a shorthanded goal. It's 12th of the season. The LA Kings now lead this game 3-0, and this is a total disaster for the Nashville Predators. They are sleepwalking through this entire first period. A goaltender cannot stop anything if the team in front of him is not playing. Big save Dave already by the end of the first period is taking one for the team. The Nashville Predators somehow find a way to get 8 shots on goal in the first period, even though I feel like they never even touched the puck. LA ends up with 14 shots on goal. It's a 3-0 hockey game, but an intermission means brand new sheet ice and brand new hockey. So let's see how things are going to play out. 1:44 of the second period. Kapari knocks out Borowiecki. He has to leave the game. It was a clean, violent, and vicious hit. I don't mind seeing hits like that in the game, but it is always tough to watch a player be injured. Borowiecki somehow got up and got himself to the slot area, but the way he was bent over, you could just tell that he was obviously dealing with some level of consciousness. He leaves the game and would not return, listed now currently as day-to-day. At 3:33 of the second period, Philip Tomasino gets his 10th goal of the season. Congratulations to the rookie Philip Tomasino. He chips the puck out of midair into the net. Honestly, it's a highlight reel game. Unfortunately, sometimes a highlight takes place in a garbage dump. LA leading 3-1 in this game. Now it's 15-0, all the way to 15:06 of the second period before I took another note, because to be honest with you, this entire game was just a mess. The Preds were sleepwalking through this whole thing. The second period was that's the only way I'm going to be able to talk about the rest of this game. I mean, to be honest with you. Oh, where'd the rest of the bottle go? Between the Tomasino goal and 15:06 of the second period when I made the next note in the game. That's where the rest of that bottle went. Thank you, Davidson Reserve. Thank you very much. Plug for you guys. 15:06 of the second period. Quick comes up with a glove save on Granlund. 18:32. Riddick comes up with a save on Capari plus his rebound opportunity. Overall, just no legs for the Nashville Predators. Not enough life from the Preds. And they're not getting it done. We hit the end of the second period. LA is out shooting Nashville 24-18. At 4:37 of the third period, Riddick's out there still working away, coming up with a big save, but at 5:59, Byfield's got his third goal of the season. It was a drive down the slot and wait for a pass on the rush. The LA Kings with a 4-1 lead now. 6:37 of the third period, Trennan and Dursey have a heavyweight scrap. 5 minutes each. Trennan just lands some incredibly heavy blows. We don't see him fight that often, but when he does, he is all in. This was a heavyweight tilt. 13 minutes into the third period, we see an empty net by the Nashville Predators, down by 3 goals. John Hines pulls the goaltender with 7 minutes left in the game. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? 18 seconds later, Kempe's 28th goal of the season goes into the empty net. Then LA is leading 5-1, 13:48. Byfield's third goal of the season, second goal of the game, gives LA a 6-1 lead. 15:01 more picks up a penalty. The LA Kings win the game 6-1. What a disaster for the Nashville Predators. And I have opinion and analysis that I'm going to give with you before the close of the show about why this happened to the Nashville Predators. And I think I have a pretty good solution, a pretty good handle on it. But the first thing I want to do is I want to go around and I want to get some analysis from the rest of the fellas from the Renegades of Puck, a bunch of them in the trenches tonight. So let's go ahead and talk about it. David Riddick in this game, 29-34, and I said it, he took one for the team, and there's nothing he can do when the team in front of him is barely even awake to play a game. I want Nostradamus' opinion and analysis, and I want his judgment on everything that happened in this game in LA. You can find him on Twitter, GreekGoalie35. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He's the one and only Nostradamus.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Overall, an abysmal night for the Nashville Predators in the second of back-to-backs, this time against the LA Kings. A very depleted LA Kings team. A whole lot of Ontario rain suiting up for the Kings on this night, but that was good enough to beat the Preds handily, I might add, 6-1. This game really was never really a game early on. It was 3-0 Kings before you could even get your coffee ready to watch the rest of this game. The Preds did push back in the second period, and you go back to Jonathan Quick and having timely saves. As soon as Tomasino gets that first goal, 3-1, now you're looking at, okay, there's a possibility the Preds can come back in this game, make a game of this. Seconds later, Philip Forsberg has a marvelous opportunity on the doorstep of Jonathan Quick, and he puts out that left pad, makes the stop, and that was as close as the Preds got. He made some brilliant saves in the second period, but that one right there, just seconds after the Preds get it to within 2, if that goal goes in, it's 3-2. You're probably looking at Coach Todd McClellan calling a timeout to slow things down for a very young, inexperienced LA Kings team. And who knows what would have happened at that point, but bottom line is puck doesn't go in. The Preds were not able to capitalize on their chances thanks to some timely saves from Jonathan Quick. Then, of course, the third period didn't have anything left in them, pulled the goalie early, and the rest is history. The Preds lose in a big way, 6-1. And David Rittich did not look sharp all night. It was very obvious, leaving loads of rebounds on pretty simple shots. But the goals scored against him were not those types of opportunities, though. The goals scored against him were high danger chances right in front of the net. Typically, the Preds are very good about keeping the teams outside of the middle of the ice in their defensive zone. Let them have the puck, but they can have it along the boards. They're not going to score from over there. Unfortunately for the Preds, very poor coverage inside their own zone. Bad turnovers led to goals as well. Just an overall terrible performance by the Nashville Predators on this night. Next up for the Preds, the Game 3 of the 3-game road trip out west. They play the Vegas Golden Knights, a struggling Vegas Golden Knights team right now, who this week alone have been shut out twice on back-to-back nights. So they are struggling. They lost 7 in a row on the road. They have won 3 in a row on home ice. They're very difficult to play in Las Vegas, as we all know from just a few years of history. They're one of the best teams at home in the NHL. However, they are missing Robin Lehner in net. So it's been Logan Thompson or Laurent Brossoit. You remember Brossoit from his days in Winnipeg as Connor Hellebuck's backup. It has been Logan Thompson carrying the load. He had back-to-back nights in Minnesota and Winnipeg, and he got both starts on back-to-back nights. Vegas got shut out both times in those games, so nothing he could do about those results out in Minnesota and Winnipeg. So Vegas back on home ice, though. They've only won 7 of their last 20 games since the All-Star break. It's a downhill trend for Vegas. They have played the most games out of any of the teams that are competing for that wild card spot or for playoff opportunities in the West as well. They are going to be very, very desperate. They are a team that cannot afford many more losses. They only have 16 games left. A lot of the teams fighting for playoff positioning have at least 18 games left, if not more. And Las Vegas has to make up some ground. They are going to be very hungry. They are missing some guys out of the lineup. Of course, Mark Stone. Again, as I said, Robin Lehner is out as well. But do not take them lightly, of course, in Vegas. Again, they've won 3 in a row. Difficult team to play up there.
You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He's been the starting goaltender of Renegades of Puck for a very long time, and if it happens between the pipes, it is Nostradamus' domain. Would love to tell you about another partner here of the Renegades of Puck, Strong Style Fit. You can find Strong Style Fit on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, StrongStyleFit.com. 150 workouts by a certified personal trainer on demand, completely ready for you. Whether it's your first workout or you need a light stretch or you're ready to throw iron like a pro, Tracy over at Strong Style Fitness can help get you there. And she is so confident in the work that she has posted on YouTube that she has made it totally donation-based. I know the results are out there. I have seen the results on plenty of Renegades, and I've experienced the results for myself. Testimonials coming soon, new videos coming soon. Strong Style Fitness is an incredible partner here to the Renegades of Puck. Simply could not do this without Strong Style Fitness. So please, stick taps, love, and respect to Strong Style Fitness, but utilize the opportunity. Take advantage of the service. They're out there begging for your money, and they're willing to take all of it to help keep you in a fitness mode. Tracy over at Strong Style Fitness offers that to you completely for free, 100% for free. Get the results, send a donation, send some love over to Tracy at Strong Style fitness. Now listen, the up and down roller coaster, John Hines said he had enough of it. He said he was tired of it. Frankly, a lot of people are tired of it. And you know what we're talking about, how the Nashville Predators give up 6 one night, but score 6 the previous 2. The game in Philly was awful. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. John Hines said he was done with it, and I thought that the Nashville Predators were turning a corner and we're done with it. The offense has been so dynamic as of late. But again, I do think that I have a reason why this Nashville Predators team fell the way they did last night against the LA Kings. It's obviously not a one simple thing, or I'd just blurt it out. I'm saving it for my analysis later. But right now, you know who's got some analysis from ontheforecheck.com? He is Sean C. Smith. You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. That Renegade courier really stepped up. And you talk about no half-stepping. He took care of a package today that could be the most significant package ever delivered by the Renegades of Puck to this date in hockey history. He's the one and only Sean C. Smith. Take it away, Sean.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean C. Smith. And look, it's a late game against the Los Angeles Kings. It was a very late game last night against the Anaheim Ducks. But you know what? Crazy Charlie stayed up, did the show all by himself, got it done in the dead of the night, because Crazy Charlie, the essence of no half-steppin', doesn't take days off. He is, if anything, consistent. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little secret here, Preds fans. I'm recording this in the intermission between first and second period of the Kings game. It's already 3-0, and the Predators are not playing a consistent game. And that's why I wanted to record now, because this goes back to a trend we've been following for a while. One of the things we've talked about a lot on this show, something I've mentioned over and over again, is that the Predators tend to have a shrinking problem when they're playing a weaker opponent. However, they've been rising to the challenge when it comes to the best teams in the league. Now, what's interesting is, before the Ducks game, pay attention here, the Ducks being one of those teams that are dead in the water, having sold off a lot of pieces, having a really interesting roster as the Predators demolished them yesterday, which was a good thing. But here's the thing. Before that game, talking to John Hines said that the team needed to find consistency. They needed to play a full 60 minutes every night and play the way they needed to play to give themselves the best chance to win the game. He said it was enough of the highs and lows. And we've talked about what he said before about not getting too high and not getting too low after games. And what I think, unfortunately, you've seen was you saw a game like the game against the Ducks last night. And let's talk a little bit about that, because I wasn't on the show yesterday to discuss it. But it was an emotional, exciting win. There were a lot of records broken. It was really cool to see Philip Forsberg set the new and break the old single-season goals record for the Predators. Who doesn't want to see that? Who doesn't want to stay up late to see that? I was so excited that I got to be someone covering that game and involved in the press conference afterwards to talk to Philip Forsberg about the exciting night he'd had. But when it came time to talk to John Hines, whose team had just had a big emotional game with a lot of really cool things happening in it, and also came away with a win against a team that was dead in the water, I asked him about that consistency. And he was very quick to remind me that just because they won the game against the Ducks, because they got it together in the third period, didn't mean that they played a consistent game. In fact, he said that first period, he had to give a lot of credit to Anaheim for coming out hungry and having something to prove. He said, however, his team was able to get it together in the third period and find a way to win the game. And while that's important, he wants to see consistency across the boards. So it's interesting to me that after a game like the game against the Ducks, John Hines was not very quick to say, oh, yep, consistent, great game, they won. He was very quick to point out and be very honest about the fact that his team wasn't necessarily performing the way he expected them to perform for the entire game, even though the result was 2 big points that come along with the win. So here we are in the intermission between the first and second period against the Kings, and it's not looking good. What you have is the Nashville Predators playing a team that's second place in the Pacific Division, a team that they should be rising up to play after just absolutely finding a way to win in the third period against a dead-in-the-water team like the Ducks. But here they are against a playoff team, and they're not rising to the occasion. They don't look the way they're supposed to look. They're not playing to their identity, and they're not playing the way they need to play in order to give themselves the best chance to win. I don't care what happens in the second or third period. It doesn't matter if they come back and score 6 goals and and shut out the Kings for the rest of the game. If this game ends 6-3 Preds, John Hines is going to say the same thing, and he's going to assess the game the same way. That first period wasn't good enough. That inconsistency is what will keep this team from going deep in the playoffs. And they have about 20 games to figure it out before it's going to become an issue. So maybe I'm doing the wrong thing here by calling this not even halfway through the game, in the middle of the first intermission, but the reality is I already know what John Hines is going to say after the game, whether they win or lose. And the reality is this is inconsistent and it's not good enough. And if the Predators are going to be a team that makes a deep run in the playoffs, they can't have games that start like this. Charlie, that's all I got. I hope that's not all the Preds got, but I'm going to send it back over to you.
You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. You can catch him on a myriad of shows across the Nashville Predators and NHL landscape. He is the one and only Sean C. Smith. I sure do love having Sean C. Smith in the trenches with me here on Renegades of Puck TV. One more partner to let you know about, Stripe Digital Solutions. You know you can find Stripe Digital Solutions on social media, always interacting on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, StripeDigitalSolutions.com is where you can find all of the additional information. The logo on the wall, RenegadesOfPuck.com, my social media brand building, all of that is done and aided and assisted by Stripe Digital Solutions. In the modern age of trying to run a small business, it is impossible for you to be able to manage every single little thing that you need to be doing to make sure you're doing the right things. After all, if you're putting in all the time and you're putting in all of the effort, but no one is seeing your work, what are you really doing other than just wasting time and banging your head up against the wall? That's where Stripe Digital Solutions comes in with a giant sledgehammer and breaks that brick wall down right in front of you and helps your brand start to reach more and more people every day. I know the results are possible because I've experienced the results. Renegades of Puck TV has gone from not existing to gaining over 125 subscribers, and our social media has been building consistently ever since Stripe Digital Solutions started helping us manage it. Please, I encourage you, build your brand. Make your business as good as it can be. Partner with someone like Stripe Digital Solutions, and you can absolutely do that. StripeDigitalSolutions.com. Let me give you a couple of numbers. I mean, really, there's not a lot to talk about from the box score. Tomasino deserves to get a little bit of talk right here. Stick taps to Philip Tomasino. He scores a goal in this game, his 10th goal of the season. He's a rookie who is coming a long way, mostly protected this season, and I've been all for that. John Hines keeping him limited on the fourth line. Here we are, past what was expected to be hitting the rookie wall. Philip Tomasino in the last couple of games, he looks better than he has at almost any point in time. Now, I remember the beginning of the season when he was gripping the stick and he looked like he was tight and he was nervous all the time and he was missing easy opportunities, missing breakaways. My God, he could easily be at 20 goals by now. But he's a different player than he was at that point in time. Philip Tomasino is coming along just great, and I look forward to him elevating his game to upper minutes and possibly upper lines. I know a lot of you are disappointed that he's been stuck on the fourth line, as you put it. He's not stuck. He's a rookie that is being developed, and the Nashville Predators actually have the time to develop a rookie and not run him into the ground. I think what they're doing with Philip Tomasino is outstanding. So, basically, the box score talk was Philip Tomasino Johansson picks up an assist in this game, and Roman Josi does continue his point streak with another assist. Colton Sissons had 3 shots on goal. Jakub Trenin had 4 shots on goal, and Tanner Jeannot had 9 hits in the game. It's otherworldly. It's incredible. And I got to mention Roman Josi's time on ice, 28:01. I mean, he skated almost an entire NHL hockey game in less than 24 hours, and it's not the first time he's done it. It's not the last time he's done it. He's simply the best defenseman in the game today, and he should be in consideration for the MVP of the league this season. Just incredible what you're getting to see out there. And pulling the goalie with 7 minutes remaining, I don't know if John Hines was trying to send a message or if he was trying to punish the team or if he legitimately has such an optimistic streak in him that he thought pulling the goalie with 7 minutes left with a team that has just not shown much energy, effort, life the entire game. Maybe he has such optimism in his players. And if he does, man, that's awesome. If he was punishing the team by pulling the goalie with 7 minutes left, then okay. It's weird. It's just weird. Coach can make that decision whenever he wants. We've seen it become more trendy over the last couple of years to pull goaltenders earlier and earlier in third periods. I'm all for pulling the goalie a little bit earlier. I'm not for pulling the goalie with 7 minutes to go in the third period. And it only took 18 seconds before the empty net goes. It just self-defeating process, 100%. Just a couple of other thoughts. The Los Angeles Kings are not as bad as most of you think. Most of you don't stay up late. You don't watch the Kings. That was a fairly depleted LA Kings team. You heard enough about that on the national broadcast. Yeah, that was an eye roll that almost took me out of the room. That's all they talked about last night. That LA Kings team, they're young, they're strong, they're fast. They're an up-and-coming team, and I think a lot of you may have been surprised to find that they were in second in the Pacific Division. They're going to be a difficult team. They're very young, and I don't know if they have the experience to make it through a best-of-7 round. But the LA Kings right now, the way they're playing, they're a better team than you think. And this is just it. Forget this game. Forget it and move on. Most of you forgot it by the end of the first period and went to bed. I wish I had the luxury, but no half-stepping required me to stay up, and at least I got rewarded with a good Trenton fight by the end of the game. I passed out the seconds mostly because I drank 3/4 of a bottle of whiskey last night during this game, which was absolutely awful. But seriously, you have to forget about this game. The Preds put a beat down on Anaheim the night before. They were an extremely tired team in LA. It was obvious off the opening puck drop and this entire game in LA. They were not the team that the Nashville Predators have been all season long. We've seen them have dips and lulls in their energy at time. Back-to-backs are not good for this Nashville Predators team. Yeah, they love the heavy workload and they thrive under the competition, the hot lights, and the heavy play. But it's been a lot of hockey as of late. And for the Nashville Predators, they finally ran out of gas. I anticipate and expect in Vegas it is going to be a different-looking team. And when this team completely runs out of gas on second night of back-to-backs, limited decor, things are not going the Nashville Predators' way off the start in this game. It was just one of those nights. And seriously, the Preds have not had very many of them. They have played down to bad teams and had bad losses. But this was simply a better hockey team than them, playing against the Preds when they were out of gas last night, and you could just tell. The Preds didn't have it in them. You guys didn't even have it in you to make it through the night, and you're not even really complaining about the game. It's tough to see it when you wake up that it's a 6-1 score against for the LA Kings, but you move on, you pick up the victory in Vegas, and you've won 2 out of 3 on the road trip, and you picked up 4 out of 6 points in the most important game on the road trip, which is that Vegas game, because of the implication of the wild card. The next biggest game of the season, well, it's the next game, and it'll continue to be that way for the Nashville Predators down the stretch for the playoffs. But 1 point separates second place through fourth place in the Central Division. There is no reason to believe that the Nashville Predators, with some head-to-head games still coming up, will not be a major factor in the 2-3 matchup in the Central Division. And if they cannot be there, they will claim one of the wild card spots. I do believe that the Nashville Predators are at that level and will continue. And don't forget, they have Buffalo, and I'm not taking teams lightly because the Preds have screwed up and taken teams lightly and lost these games, but they do have Ottawa twice coming up. They have Buffalo twice coming up, and these are teams that the Nashville Predators should be able to beat. They still have Arizona on their schedule. These are points that the Nashville Predators just simply need to be able to collect. So the next biggest game of the season, well, it is the next game for the Nashville Predators. And as I head out the door, I wanted to announce and introduce to you the newest correspondent of the Renegades of Puck. She embodies the essence of no half-stepping, and she is going to be covering the Milwaukee Admirals for us for the rest of the season and also giving her opinion on things going on with the Nashville Predators. But it is incredible to welcome to the trenches Rachel Kay, and all I need to know about Rachel Kay and what she does as the captain of a hockey team for the 615 Mercs and the jam she brings out there and the effort she brings, all I need to know is in this clip right here. Welcome to the bunker, Rachel Kay. I can't wait to see what you do in the trenches. For Nostradamus, for the ultimate one, for Brian Baston, for Sean C. Smith, and Kay, and brand new to the team, Rachel Kay and Kay Perk. Oh, I have a lot of people with K's in their name. I'm going to have to start learning their full names at some point in time. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Please enjoy the essence of no half-stepping right here from Rachel Kay. We'll be back soon. Stick taps, love, and respect.